Hello and good afternoon, and welcome to this Year 11 parent information event on the Sixth Form Bridging Term, which is going to take place from the 14th of June to the 14th of July. I've spoken with you before. My name's Mr. Orr. I'm the head of Sixth Form, and I'll be responsible for the Bridging Term for the Year 11 students. We've spoken with the students already, and I've passed on information to yourselves a few weeks ago, and we'll continue to do that over the course of the next few weeks before students embark on their post-16 studies. So what we've tried to do is come up with a plan that fits in with the students' needs at our particular school. We have 55 students in Year 11, so comparatively to other providers, we are quite small, and that means that we have an opportunity to really tailor our programme to their specific needs. So what we have said to the students already, and what you will be aware of, is that the students will have a 2-week Whitsun holiday, and they will return to school on Monday the 14th of June. Now at this point, the GCSE teacher assessed grades, or what's known as tags, will have been determined already. And what we therefore want is we don't want students to have a 12-week summer holiday before they then embark on their post-16 studies or go straight into employment. Reason for that would be an excessive amount of time. It would mean as well that students might fall into bad habits. Also might mean that a lot of crucial knowledge and key knowledge is lost. So what we want to do is we want to assist in that transition to sixth form study, whether that's at OSH or at another provider, or if it's the case that they're going straight into an employment scheme or an apprenticeship scheme, which is usually done via a college as well, that they have the necessary skills to succeed. So what we're offering is a threefold plan. We're looking to upskill our students with the tools that they need to study at a level 3 standard. And remember, if they're going into employment or apprenticeships, there will be some sort of training that goes alongside that, and that will again be at a level 3 standard. We want students to have a chance to enrich their profiles, so to make them more marketable, and it might be the case that they want to embark on additional qualifications at this particular point and front load them before they embark on sixth form or college study. And we want to give them the time to consider where they want to matriculate to following their level 3 study. So what kind of careers do they want to go into? What do they want to do with these particular courses? So the plan that we've created over the course of 5 weeks has been shared with students already and yourselves. The point of this particular talk is to go through them in a bit more detail, to answer some frequently asked questions that we've had from the forms exercise that I've sent out, and through a number of emails as well that I've had with parents. And hopefully that will answer most of your questions. But if you do have any more, please do email me following this. Don't hesitate to get in touch. Myself and Mr. Ady will be contacting all parents and students in the week commencing the 7th of June, just to make sure that any kind of issues or questions or queries that people have been resolved. So the first thing to state about this 5-week term is that students will have time to get ahead with their course reading and the tasks that will help facilitate that jump to A-level sixth form or apprenticeship study. So what we have provided already, and what we'll be distributing out in that first day on the 14th of June, is these bridging tasks. And those are the things which are really a requirement in order to succeed at that particular level. Now, that will be joined up with the fact that students will be able to meet with their subject leaders for the courses that they wish to study. And in lots of cases, it might be the case that they're choosing to do a subject that they haven't actually studied at GCSE. So it gives them the chance to meet different members of staff that they probably haven't spoken to already. And they will have the time to work on these specific tasks. And that means that, again, they're not going to have to do them over the August period. Now, students who are coming to OSH externally, so from other providers, they'll have access to this information as well, and they might wish to do the same. And we will try and as well engage them with our teachers during this period. So, for example, this is the biology work that's been set by Mrs. Wakefield and Miss Ablett. So you've got a series of different bridging tasks, you've got a series of different books, journals, videos, podcasts that they should be listening to, and they've got some tasks that will hopefully mean that they can see the difference between GCSE and A-level, so that transitionary period. And this is the case for all different subject areas. So students will have chance and time to go through these particular tasks, work on them independently, and they'll be able to meet with staff as well. So they will have an hour per week with subject-specific staff for chosen sixth form subjects. Now, it might be the case that they're actually wanting to do something completely different. So I know a few of the boys that I've spoken to, they're wanting to do a triple BTEC in sport. So they can attend the sports sessions, no problem. They can do those particular tasks because they'll be applicable for the college course that they'll be going to. Likewise, if there's an apprenticeship course and it might be based on something like construction, it might be worth attending something like the physics courses or the tech courses, so they'll still be applicable. Likewise, what we'll do as well is we'll tailor those specific students' courses with specific bridging tasks. So we will also make sure that those students have the same experience as students that are returning to OSH for the sixth form level. What we'll also do is we'll give students a bit of a taster of what it's going to be like in September by running an AS level in criminology. Now that's going to be as like a trial basis to see what a sixth form subject is like. So criminology is it's not a new discipline, but we haven't talked about it at the school before. We haven't delivered content that relates to it. Very interesting, lots of supercurricular reading that students can get involved in. And they can apply some of their understanding from a different podcast that they might be listening to, or different videos and true crime dramas that they've been watching. As has already been shared with parents and with students, the 5-week program that we're giving to students will incorporate those previous points. They will happen throughout the 5 weeks, but what we'll also have is a theme for each week. So the themes for the week are essentially on the screen now. So you've got sixth form independent study and work habits in week 1, the EPQ in week 2, the AS level in thinking skills in week 3, careers and competitive pathway routes in week 4, and then the wider community in week 5. And that week 5 is a half week because the school calendar finishes on the Wednesday. So the different themes in the week, how they essentially will run will be that in the morning, the first 2 lessons, there will be seminars, very much like in sixth form study. So they'll be kind of front loaded in the morning. What then happens is that students have time to attend different subject meetings with different subject leaders. So there'll be a calendar plan that will be shared with the students on the first day. They can choose which ones they go to on different days. But they'll also have independent time to work on the skills that have been set in that particular morning. Now, the work habits and the career and competitive pathway routes and the wider community, they will be predominantly experience-based, but within weeks 2 and 3, we have the start of some additional qualifications that students might be interested in. And what I would ask you to do, if you've got time, is to look on this channel and look at the introductory videos for the EPQ and for the AS level in thinking skills. Those will cover the 2 different qualifications, what they entail, what needs to happen. There's nothing that the students need to do in advance before these particular weeks. They don't need to worry about the EPQ or the AS level in thinking skills before that point. But the crucial thing to state is that these qualifications are designed to be transferable. So we haven't, for example, said week 2 is going to be History A level, because not everybody's going to be doing History A level, and its transferable skills won't be applicable to all different college or sixth form courses. Instead, the EPQ and the AS level in thinking skills are directly transferable to a work environment and to sixth form study, and they're seen very highly by employers and institutions. So please do have a look if you've got time to watch the videos which introduce these particular qualifications. So here's an example, and this would be the first week, so this would be the work habits and the sixth form independent study week. So what students would do is they would meet with me first thing on the Monday morning. We would talk about the plan for the week and what's coming up ahead. Each morning we would have morning seminars, and then in the afternoons we'd have a chance to put these particular skills into practice. So in the case of work habits, we're basing it around the 12 different key competencies which have been outlined. You can see them on the screen there. The idea behind this particular week is to recognise what competencies have already been developed, which competencies need to be improved, so which areas there perhaps may be some issues with, and then to kind of showcase and record these competencies ready for CVs, personal statements, but also for level 3 studies. The idea of these morning seminars is to go through different competencies, different skill sets, to increase the students' understanding as to how they can improve these particular areas. So, for example, when it comes to organisation, a big issue that students have and young workers as well when they go over the age of 16 is about general time management. So we'll look at some varying different strategies. We'll talk about the significance of sleep as part of that, and these seminars will take place throughout the entirety of that particular week. When it's the EPQ week, there will be 10 lessons which form the EPQ, and then the week after there'll be 10 introductory lessons on critical thinking and problem solving, which comprise the AS level in thinking skills. I've had a series of FAQs from parents, so what I'm going to do is just kind of try to give answers to as many of them as possible. If you have further ones, or if there are further questions, please do contact me. I'll have my email address on the screen as well, and please feel free to do that any time. So, first question I had would be, where will the students be based? So with the exception of time with subject leaders, the students will be based at Swinford Court. That's the new sixth form centre, and that's because what we're trying to do is to make this a clear difference between Year 11 and their Level 3 studies. Who is the lead contact? There's 2 members of staff. So Mr. Ady is the head of Year 11, and Mr. Ady will be heavily involved in the programme that we'll be running. He'll be leading point of contact for a lot of students. You'll know him already, and students will have a really good relationship with him. So we'll keep Mr. Ady very close by, and there'll be me as well. Please note our email addresses. If you have any queries or any problems, please just send us an email as soon as possible. Where do the students register? They don't need to have morning AM registration because they're spending most of the day with me. They'll be at Swinford Court at 8:50. They'll meet me in the foyer, the entrance area. I'll register them. We'll go up to a classroom and we'll start for the morning. We'll hopefully at that particular point we should have IT facilities. That is subject to change just in case that we don't get the IT facilities that we need. What equipment do the students need? It would be beneficial if students brought in a lever arch folder, although that's not essential. Other than that, it's exactly what they would need for Year 11. So just a pencil case, making sure that they've got their login details for online. Will students be mixing with the sixth formers? Yes. The idea again is that our students that are coming back for this bridging term, they are becoming part of the sixth form, so there'll be opportunities to mix with current Year 12 students and with students externally who are hopefully going to be coming to the sixth form as well. What should students wear? Students may wear their Year 11 uniform. If they want to, though, they can wear smart business attire. They're becoming part of the sixth form, and that's what we expect of our Year 12 students. What about lunchtime? Students still should use the dining hall on main site to grab their lunch. After that, they can come back over to Swinford Court if they want. They can go to the boarding house, completely up to them. At this point, they do not have the privilege yet of being able to leave site without permission, so they shouldn't be leaving site. When do students need to finalise their sixth form option blocks if they're coming back to the sixth form? They don't need to confirm until results day, and the idea of this bridging term is that they can try before they buy. So what they should be doing is going to these different sessions, just making sure that they've got all the information so that they don't have to then change their minds in September. A few people have asked me about this one, and they've said if they have a work experience opportunity, how might that affect the programme, the bridging term? What we'd say is fantastic, that's brilliant, that's exactly what students should be doing. Working in that summer, and if it's the case that that's already been booked in, or there's an opportunity that's become available, fantastic. We would be stupid to get in the way of that. So what we'll be doing is Mr. Ady and myself, as I've said already, will be contacting all parents and students in the week commencing the 7th of June. So what we'll do is we'll discuss any dates that have been booked in for any kind of work experience or helping out, and we can amend our registers. It really should be worthwhile. Things like a part-time job, that's not necessarily the best use of time, but I know some people have spoken already about spending a week working in a mechanics or working for different family members, doing these particular roles. That's a fantastic opportunity. We'd really welcome that. Is this compulsory? Yes, it is compulsory. That's per government legislation, but we really shouldn't be using that point. We are a really small year 11 of 55 students, and the programme that we've created really should be seen as an opportunity to set themselves up for wherever they're heading in September. So yes, it is compulsory, but actually it should be a really good opportunity for the students. Will there be downtime? Yes, certain days will have early finishes. Just like the sixth formers, there is an expectation to have independent study, and we'll give students that privilege for parts of this bridging term. We'll have guest speakers that will be in attendance. Afternoons will predominantly, as I've said already, be independently based, and we'll also have PM games on a Wednesday afternoon. Also, it's the Euros as well in June, so I'm sure that we'll be able to fix all of those times in. And then finally, do students need to do anything to prepare for this programme? I think I've mentioned the answer to this one already. No need to do anything in advance. So for example, a few people have said, do they need to come up with some EPQ questions before that week? Not at all. They don't need to do that. So we'll be starting everything off as novices. Thanks very much for listening, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch, and looking forward on the 14th of June to seeing all the Year 11s back.